It's time for Normalville. It's time for Normalville. It's time for Normalville. Gonna get a little crazy like you know we will.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Abnormal Hour, episode number 23. I am your host, Alex Rennie, with my partner,
Frank Gillibrand. Hey.
And it has been, 4 months, 3 months? Crazy. 3 months since we've done our last show.
Yeah.
It's summer vacation, work, lots of crazy, just life.
Yeah. Life. We'll just call it life.
We'll just call it life. But we are here, and we're glad to be back. And this will take us to our very first part. I don't know if you can remember that far back, but we are going to go to our last whiteboard turned fresh cartoon.
So here we go. We have our whiteboard that we did quite some time ago. So I would like to remember how we came about with this.
And I have no idea either.
We have no idea.
Troglodyte dating game.
I like the way you put the hands, they just drag way down to the back.
Yeah. there's no, it's just
That's
some kind of a
epitome
primate.
of dragging. Yeah. I like the ponytails you got going on there. That's
I had the ode to the Flintstones, right, where they tie their head in the bones.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. The funny part was I was thinking contestant 1 and 2, and they would just smear dirt
That's right.
on their loincloths or whatever. So
yeah,
this is our final one. And then Frank decided in the 11th hour, he said, we got to have one of the women say, "Ooh, him a catch." So we had the thought balloon. And we have given that it's been 3 months, in that time, I had taken a road trip. We drove out to Victoria in BC in Vancouver, and I was inspired to do this cartoon on the road trip. So,
yep.
Thinking what would happen if you had some kind of gangster or whatever
Right.
with a kidnapped guy in the trunk and driving in the HOV lane, because hey man.
Well, and the gangster, he's not all bad. He wants to follow the rules, right? Hey, we have 2 people occupancy.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's no fine print says one has to be like alive or
Well, he's not dead. He's in the trunk.
Okay, he's not
guy
dead.
In the trunk. If it was a body, it'd be different. But there's an actual guy in the trunk.
He's got a guy. Yeah, so he's just detained.
Just detained. And then so I did an homage to Chips, the old TV show. This is what they dress like, and that's what the CHP 77 on the license plate, because Chips came out in 1977, the first episode. So.
Eric Estrada there giving the ticket, or trying to.
Yeah, so there we go. I like I said, I was driving on we were on this road trip, and we were actually in the HOV lane because it was my wife, myself, and my stepson. And I was thinking, how funny would that be if there was somebody that had someone in the trunk of the car and thought, hey, it's okay to be here, and got pulled over. And here we go.
It's a gooder.
Never know what's going to inspire you. That now takes us to section number 2, which is our news break. So welcome everybody, and Frank, start us off with today's first news story.
Okay, today's first compelling news story. Daily martini fuels 100-year-old weightlifter.
What?
I know you want to know more.
I do.
And I'll do the first line. Shaken or stirred, great-great-grandmother Edith Murray will take her daily martini.
Edith, that is an old lady's name, Edith.
That's right.
I don't hear that anymore.
Yeah. Instantly, Edith
character. They go together. She just turned 100 and credits a martini a day with her longevity.
Wow.
She does also maintain that physical activity and vitamins help as well.
I would hope so. It's
Yes.
not just the alcohol, it's the other stuff too.
She is in the Guinness Book of Records as the world's oldest power lifter because she does
Nice.
compete as a power lifter. She took up lifting weights at 91. You know, she needed a hobby. 91.
Right,
Still around.
exactly.
Okay, might as well make some use of my time.
Yeah, most 91-year-olds are maybe bird watching or doing,
Yeah.
you know, watching their face. She's I'll take up
They're very
weightlifting.
good at Scrabble, right? But she can lift more than 150 pounds
Wow, good
at
for her.
100 years old. Crazy.
That's awesome.
So I would like to be able to do that at 100 years old.
Heck yeah, man. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah, it is. Totally. So her quote is, I have a Geritol in the morning and a couple of martinis at night, and that keeps me going. You know, she doesn't combine the two, right? She doesn't put Geritol in the martini. That would just be wrong.
Is Geritol a vitamin? I don't even know what that is.
It's
Dual softener?
it helps your digestive. But, you know, if Daniel Craig keeps making, if he had signed on for another 20 movies, by the end, he would have Geritol in his martinis.
Right. 007.
007. Give me that martini and extra heavy on the Geritol.
That's awesome.
I got some business to take care of.
That could be a future cartoon right
there. We go.
Right on. That's awesome. Thank you for that, Frank. That was
you're welcome.
Good job, Edith. We love you. Keep going. Keep
Edith
going
rocks.
strong.
Keep on going. Okay.
Fantastic.
You got your news story ready? What do you got?
So, a gravestone that had been missing for almost 150 years was recently recovered from a house in the US where it was being used to make fudge. The 5-foot-tall gravestone has the name Peter J. Weller engraved on it. He was a pioneer and businessman who had died in 1849. The tombstone had gone missing 26 years after his death when it had been moved from one cemetery to the other. For years, it was being used by a woman to make fudge because apparently fudge makers use big square marble slabs to cool their creations, and it turns from liquid into solid when they do that. The woman was recently moved into a hospice care facility due to her Alzheimer's, and her belongings had been listed for an auction. Brad Stoker, this auction and estate salesman, was shocked upon finding it, and he immediately removed it from the sale. How the granite tombstone ended up in the woman's home remains a mystery. Nobody knows, and she's got Alzheimer's, so she can't come up with the answer, unfortunately. So,
and did it say how old she was?
I don't know. That wasn't in the news story.
But
this was our geriatric news edition.
That's right. Hey, but she didn't actually steal the gravestone because it's going back like 130 years or whatever, right? But it was her dad that stole it.
Yeah, somebody who she knew that made fudge.
That's no small deal. That's 5 feet of granite. You don't just pick that up and put it on the counter, right? So,
you know, it's interesting because I wonder if they were like, you know, we're gonna make fudge. Where can we find a big granite slab? I know. Let's go to the cemetery. I'm assuming that's probably what happened.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay, right on.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for that, Frank. And this now takes us to our very first whiteboard of the day.
Okay, let's get to our first whiteboard of the day. We were brainstorming about the gravestone being used to make fudge. From that, we go to Africa. What we're going to do is along the lines of repurposing something used for a purpose that it wasn't meant for. And so we went to, and that's not really what we're up to here.
That's not what we're up to, but
That's
it's
not what we're up
still
to. How
pretty
did it get from that to, oh, it's, yeah, it was going to be that the tribe had found something that a safari had left behind and then use it for something else. And like, let's go this way, where we have something like Zulu's auto mechanics, and the safari Jeep has broken down.
I like this.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. And then he says,
put the name of the garage up there.
Look like you're not getting any spark. I like this, man. Like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's simple. Like, you don't have to think. You just be entertained. Okay, so that was our whiteboard brainstorming. Cool. Something that just comes to mind is, we had that cartoon where the guy does amputations and also everything else. And coolest one on that list was the midwife, right? So we have the Zulu's Garage Emporium, where he provides a list of.
I like it.
So he could do witch doctor.
Witch doctor.
Maybe
garage
also a barista, because they have good coffee in Africa, right? What else would he do?
Oh, he could if he's a witch doctor or whatever too, or like if he's a tribal elder, he could perform marriage ceremonies or something like that, right?
Yeah.
We'll come up with this, but I love this idea, Frank. That's really funny. I think that's great.
So you can get married while you're waiting for your car to be fixed.
Or he could be spear sharpening, could be all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right.
So I just wrote it down as a secondary list. I like that. I think that's really good, man.
The list could go like 30 things long that way. We'll limit it to like 4 or 5.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Wonderful.
Right on.
Good job, Frank.
He's the man.
Frank. Cool.
Okay, now we're going to head into the fresh segment, the newest segment in our repertoire, called Blast from the Past.
Blast from the past, searching for that golden memory. Blast from the past, it's a treasure that we want everyone to see.
And this was a segment that if you remember, we just were laughing our butts off coming up with the idea. When it finally hit, we were like, it fell flat.
Oh yeah.
Describe what the idea was, Frank.
And so the idea was we called her Miss Brown, a homage to Charlie Brown, and the teacher from Charlie Brown that goes wah wah
wah wah wah wah.
And it's kids asking advice, right?
From Mrs. Brown.
Now, doesn't this make sense, right? Kids ask advice, and then Miss Brown goes wah wah wah.
We thought it was going to be a laugh riot. It was like,
So now we've called it the rise and fall of Miss Brown.
It literally lasted one episode.
Yeah.
And was
shooting star. Done.
So here we go. Teaching
There
moment
we go.
with Miss Brown, Blast from the Past.
Let's see.
And now, today's teaching moment with Miss Brown.
Hello there, Mrs. Brown. My question is, what do you suggest we do while we're stuck at home during isolation? But what if my sister and I don't get along? Isn't that illegal, Miss Brown? But my mommy and daddy are gonna be upset with me if I do that. But I don't want to be in trouble, Mrs. Brown. That's just mean. I don't like you, Miss Brown. I'm gonna leave. Okay.
I forgot. When we said rise and fall, and we thought it missed the mark. I don't think so. I think it's good.
I mean, did we ever do it again after that?
Oh, that was one and done.
I thought it was, yeah. Isn't that illegal, Miss Brown? Like,
that's the best.
Oh
line.
Man.
Oh. Okay, let's have people send in. Do you like Miss Brown or not? Let's do it this way. You're going to throw it out there, right? Hey, watch this for a minute and a half. Should we do this again?
Yes.
Right? Yes or no?
And
we'll
so you guys,
whatever comes.
So you guys know, that was unscripted. Like, we just knew, well, everything was from the cuff. We knew there was going to be the back and forth, but we didn't. I think we just said, let's do it around kids being stuck at home with COVID, right? Because he said, what about the isolation? That's as far as we went. So everything else was just kind of. So that leads us into joke of the day.
Okay, Alex, what is your joke for today?
Frank, when you say it like that, you just already taken the wind out of sails, man.
Well, you can only go up from there. So,
Right. What's the difference between a $20 steak and a $55 steak?
I don't know.
February 14th.
Yes, you are correct.
Exactly. That's such a BS holiday, I gotta say. It's all for the women mostly, like.
Oh yeah,
that's
right.
How much money do we spend on flowers, candy?
Yeah, that's the only thing that matters is how much you spent.
Exactly.
Well, Alex, thanks for that joke of the day. And I mean that. And so now let's go into expert advice, and Alex is going to transition up into expert advice. We're going to see what's going on. Go.
And now, expert advice from the expert.
Okay, Alex, hit me with your expert advice. I want to see. Let's go.
So I figured we'd try something different. It's been 3 months. Let's do something that's more interactive. It's more than just advice. What I'm going to share with you guys today, I graduated university, with an art degree. As you know, I love drawing cartoons and all kinds of drawing. I'm going to teach you a technique that is almost foolproof. And as far as what comes out 90% of the time is going to look like a cool piece of art. No matter what skill level of artist you are, it almost always comes out cool. It doesn't always come out the way you think it's going to come out, but it's always kind of a neat thing. And the technique I'm going to teach you today is called contour drawing. And we're going to actually take it a step further from that. So what a contour drawing is if you had a piece of paper and a pen, it's drawing a picture, but never lifting the pencil or pen from the paper. You're just one continuous line, no matter what you're looking at. Could have a person, a still life, or whatever it is. You never bring that pen up from the paper. It's one continuous line. And to take it a step further, this was an actual exercise in university, and it's fun. It's a fun thing to do. It's called a blind contour drawing. So what you do is you look at your whatever your subject matter is, and you never look down at the paper you're drawing on. You can initially, I'm going to start in the middle here, look down, but once you look away from that page, you never lift the pencil and you never look down to see what you're doing. You're literally drawing blind with one continuous line, hence the name blind contour drawing. And it's actually a lot of fun. It's really interesting. And like I said, you'd be surprised at how cool the final result actually is. So Frank has agreed that he's going to take part in today's blind contour drawing, and we're going to draw each other, right? Is that what we agreed on before?
Yeah, we're going to draw each other.
Yeah, so we're going to look on the screen and we'll draw each other. Did you have any questions, Frank, about this?
Yeah, sort of. So we're going to cut right here because I didn't go get my pad of paper and a marker yet.
Okay.
So I am ready. I got mine underneath the desk here, so I can't see it. And
Okay.
I have my marker and my pad of paper ready.
Okay.
And this will be a race as well.
Not a race.
No race? No.
Not a race. It's
I want
just
to
a drawing, my
win. I want
friend.
to win.
So, there's no winners or losers.
No winners. Or
Only winners. So,
we're all winners. Okay.
do you do this normally? Because I'm finding it very distracting.
I do.
But that's all right.
I'm almost done.
Pretty cool. I won the race, Frank. You lose.
You are the winner. I am the loser.
I'm only kidding because Frank. said
Okay.
there's-
We'll see what this is.
It has to be
Boy.
bad because you're laughing hard.
This is
Go ahead, hold it up, man.
Okay, here we go.
There's yours.
Oh, yours is good.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I think they're both pretty neat. I really do.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I think it's cool. I think that, see, that looks neat. It doesn't look anything like
Does look
Frank, but it looks
Nope.
pretty cool.
Yep, yep.
So hold yours up one more time.
Okay, here we go.
I like it. I think it's cool. Like I said, it looks like a work of art, right? It's, you can't go wrong
Like
with blind contour drawing.
one eye is completely missing. Right?
Guys, I think this is something fun that you could do like at a party, you know, like it just, it
Right.
always looks cool. It's always kind of funny. Like, I'm glad that you laughed like you did when you drew it.
Wow.
I remember doing
Genuinely
this.
Surprised.
Yes, I did this in high school art, and I also did it in university. So it's a pretty interesting technique. The thing behind that technique, and especially contour drawing, not necessarily blind, is a lot of people, you know, when they look at like a whatever it is, you're influenced by your background. So I had a teacher, I loved comic books. I would draw muscular people in my life drawing class, even when the people weren't muscular, right? This is a technique to get you to draw exactly what you see, you know, and by taking your mind off of it, you're even going a step further. So,
Right.
yeah. So you're not interpreting a nose, you're not interpreting, you're just, so
Mhm.
it's kind of a cool thing, right?
So
So
that's how I see you. Oh, that's telling.
right on. I thought it was cool, man. Like I said,
Oh,
I'm happy with mine too.
Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna frame it. I'll send it to you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, this now takes us to our whiteboard, our second whiteboard of the day.
Okay, let's go whiteboard number 2. We had to brainstorm this one a little bit. And where we're at right now is fall time, and all the leaves are falling off the trees. And I asked Alex, did you ever make a pile of leaves and jump into it? He's like, oh, what kid didn't? Right? We all did. And then he made the comment, yeah, that wasn't so soft. But then let's go old person, Daredevil, you know, with Evil Knievel. And he's he's in the retirement home now, but he just can't give up his ways. So he's going to be in his wheelchair, and his landing is going to be a big pile of leaves.
It could just be as simple as getting old socks or I don't know. Yeah, we'll figure this one out, but I think we're definitely
Getting old sucks is before the punchline you put. Getting old sucks. He does this every year.
yeah. There you go. I like it. I think this is pretty good, man.
I like it.
So that's what happens when you mix a Gen Xer and a baby boomer and they brainstorm their idea. It goes back to the Evel Knievel days, 1970s, right? Was his kind of heyday?
Golden era, yes,
The golden era.
of reality TV, right?
Golden era. You just inspired me, Frank. What if the jerk in the crowd says, whoever said these were the golden years was lying? Right? 'Cause they're just witnessing him do something like that. I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Could be.
Could be. So there we go. Right on. Well, thank you for that. And now this leads us into Did You Know? So Frank, give us today's Did You Know?
For today's Did You Know? Let's talk about commercials. Right? Who doesn't like to, a good commercial, right? Then you're going, yeah, I like a good commercial. There's 3 million bad ones for every 10 good ones, right?
Yep.
But let's go back in time, like we always do. Printed ads, the oldest existing commercials, right? The oldest one they have on display is Jinan Lu's Fine Needle Shop in China. And it goes back to the year 1200.
What?
He's advertising her needle shop.
Oh my God.
And
1200.
And maybe the world's first slogan as well, because she had on the sign, "We buy high quality steel rods and make fine quality needles to be ready for use at home in no time."
Wow.
That's the very first slogan, and it rocks.
That's freaking awesome, man.
Okay, so from the very first printed ad on a bronze plate, we're going to go to Middle Ages. And society goes downhill. Middle Ages, right? It's like nobody can read. Everybody, their intelligence has just gone down. So they used pictures instead of words. Like if you were a cobbler, you had a picture of a shoe. If you were a blacksmith, right? That was the picture outside your shop.
Logos.
The very first logo. And they also employed town criers. So you could do your marketing by, hey, town crier, here's a few pennies, go make my name a
We
whip.
should bring back the town crier. They kind of have that, those sign people, but I think we should go further and
go further. Yeah. Hey, everybody. So then we'll go to the early 1600s, and that is newspapers are now out and about. So from very early on, newspapers had ads. They were smart, right? And so most of those ads were like for snake oil salesmen.
Yeah.
That was what paid the day. Go into 1848, where you have an ad for Koch brothers, tobacco. And
so there's tobacco.
Yeah. So their slogan was, "Smoke not only checks disease, but preserves the lungs."
Talk about a snake oil salesman, although they really didn't know better then. So
I imagine they might go further with some 9 out of 10.
Clean out the old pipes.
Smooth. So then we'll go into radio. common practice was for a major sponsor to sponsor an entire radio program. This program brought to you by Geritol, whatever.
Yeah.
Is it-
Geritol.
That was a thing.
Superman brought to you by Geritol.
Geritol. Go Superman! And how do you like this? So they used to sponsor a show for $35 to $50 or so. That would sponsor the entire show. Pretty reasonable price. So the first radio ad in Britain, any idea what year that would be?
Well, I mean, it would have to be the early 1900s, right? Like 19.
Yeah, well, radio came out in about 1920s or so.
Yeah, I
right?
was thinking 1920s,
Yeah.
right?
In Britain, the first radio ad didn't come out until 1973.
What?
Yeah, they were just,
Wow.
they're against the barraging of commercials. Right?
Which, hey, I have no complaints about that. That'd actually be pretty nice.
So the first TV commercial was during a baseball game between the Dodgers and the Phillies, 1941.
All right.
So take a guess on how much it was by Bulova Watches and how much they paid for that commercial.
$12.
It was $7. So
$7.
you're within the realm because this is 1941.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. The dollar went way for, you were buying cars for hundreds of dollars, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
$7 was your first
Wow.
TV commercial. Bulova Watches. So let's go to the Super Bowl. How much is it for 30 seconds in the Super Bowl?
today, you're saying.
Yeah, today.
Oh man, isn't it like something like astronomical, like 20 or 30 million dollars or something crazy?
Not that astronomical, but it is still
Not-
astronomical in $5.6 million.
Wow, not that
Go from-
astronomical, but still
Yeah.
5.6 million for 30-second
Yeah.
commercial. Wow.
What a percentage increase that is. $7, 5.6 million.
Yeah.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
But that's the evolution of the commercial on how it's gone. Right.
Wow. Cool, man. Thank you for that, Frank. That was an interesting did you know? I can't believe it went all the way back to the 1200s.
Yeah.
That little old lady in China making needles. That's pretty cool. Right on. Well, guys, that wraps up episode 23. And we want to thank you for joining us and for your patience for waiting 3 months for us to come back. And I guarantee you we will come out with another podcast in much less time in the next 3 months. I promise you that. So right on. Frank, as always, thank you, man. This has been a lot of laughs and fun. So
Yep. Ton of fun.
thanks, guys. Till next time.
Till next time.
And now we're leaving. We gotta go. And now we're leaving. It's the end of our show. We had a good time. It's come to an end. We hope you had a good time. A good time, my friend. And now we're leaving. That's the end of our show. And now we're leaving. We gotta go.